More handouts for first home buyers. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Still working through my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from news.com.au, which is discussing the expansion of the first home buyer grants in New South Wales. More handouts, more money going out, more money to juice the industry, more money to sucker in perhaps first home buyers to buy something a little bit too expensive, to stretch themselves a little further. I mean, the construction industry isn't looking too hot at the moment with regard to building approvals, future work in the pipeline. And property, I would call it, is part of our obsession. It's a national sport here in Australia. I'd say it's bigger than rugby, bigger than cricket, bigger than AFL, and bigger than soccer or football when we're in the World Cup. So let's have a look at this. First home buyer grants expand in New South Wales to assist the building industry. So it's to help the building industry. The New South Wales government has expanded its first home buyers assistance measures in a bid to temporarily support, I added temporarily there out of hope, in a bid to support the economy. I should know better. Florian, what are you saying? No government policy is ever temporary. The New South Wales government will expand its first home buyers grants to drive growth within the state's construction industry, which has been crippled by the pandemic. Well, has it? Has it been crippled by the pandemic? I know a lot of people in construction that's still going out there and working. I think it's been crippled by the fact that it hasn't been moving as much. Sales haven't been going as much. Confidence has taken a hit. So they're throwing money at people to get them to buy houses. They're giving them 45 grand if you add it all up in some states to get into houses. And then that's depressing the value of existing stock, second-hand houses. Treasurer Dominic Perotti on Monday said the state's first home buyer scheme, which eliminated stamp duty on newly built homes, would be expanded on purchases from $650,000 to $800,000. Well, that's good. I mean, what we'll do is I will bring up some property council data. The data room here, guys, we'll just search for this. And let's look at the average price or median price of property in New South Wales. Because all things aren't equal. They're not all equal. And this is great if you want to just get an understanding of some different data. You know, everyone loves talking about property, don't they? We'll just wait for it to load up. Here we go. Median residential house value. Sydney's at $930, so it's still well below the median. It's $730, so Melbourne would sit in there, but it's New South Wales. Canberra, $685, and you go down to Brisbane and further down. I mean, just a $900,000 home loan, or borrowing $500,000. Just think of the difference on your weekly payments. The concession will reduce on higher property values of up to the value of $1 million. This is all about building homes and creating jobs, he said. You know, so you're removing some of the punishments you stick on people to get more activity in the economy. Maybe the government's starting to learn how much of a burden they are on the economy, on the private sector, just dragging us down. So these changes aren't about buying your dream home. It's about assisting you buying your first home. Elimination of stamp duty would save an estimated first home buyer $31,000 on a home valued at $800 grand. The increase to the threshold for new home stamp duty will cost the state budget $78 million. No, I don't like how they always say it will cost the state budget this. It won't. It will reduce the money taken from other parties to the state by $78 million. I mean, it's stamp duty. I didn't even get a stamp when I last did it. I wanted a stamped piece of paper. I didn't get it. You had to submit it and send it away. And it's such a rigmarole when you deal with the bureaucracies of the government. It is estimated the scheme will help up to 6,000 households purchase a newly built home. He said the scheme's expansion would assist the New South Wales construction and property industry, which has been significantly impacted by the economic shutdown induced by the pandemic. What is somewhat masked by all the cranes in the sky is the challenges the construction industry is facing in our state, he said. It is by far the largest industry that has taken up the JobKeeper program, with over 50,000 applicants since July. The construction industry contributes approximately $48 billion to the state's economy and represents 7.7% of the gross state product. Vacant land stamp duty thresholds have also increased from 350 to 400,000 and will phase out at 500,000. So here we have it, everyone. More government incentives, more government help for first home buyers in New South Wales. What do you think? Do you think this will help stimulate the construction sector? Do you think this will create more jobs? Will it encourage people to jump into property? Or is it going to fuel the FOMO that we're getting, the fear of missing out that people have? If we have a look at some figures, we can see building approvals for units have plunged. They've plunged. Private sector houses, they've dropped as well. And people are pinning their hopes on the bushfire recovery, a big reconstruction effort. But, I mean, that's only about 1,000 homes. Look at the numbers there on building approvals, guys. And remember, that's rebuilding what's there. That's not anything new. Then you fall into the trap of the broken window fallacy, of going and smashing windows and getting people to repair it under the false hope that you think you're actually adding something to the economy, when you're not really. Now, that's what the worrying thing is, that politicians are saying that. They're putting that forward, thinking that will help the economy. Spruikers are saying that will help the economy. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So here we have it, everyone. Stamp duty easing up again. And then you've got, the government grants. You've got other grants that you can get as well for that. Then people are taking out their super, so maybe this is the opportunity to jump in. But we can see 650 to 800,000. Okay, it's not near the median for a house, 930. What about a residential unit? Okay, it's just in the middle. A residential unit is just between that bracket, 710,000 in Sydney. Let's have a look at the property price index we can see here in Australia. Let's go to Sydney. And we can see, there you go. It's up and down. And this is in March. Now, what some people will ask, why, Florian, are you doing one video on property going up and property going down, property going up, property going down? Because I want to convey what's happening in the media. There's some people that will get all their property knowledge just from reading the media and will just, grasp onto one positive piece of FOMO after another. And then they'll make decisions on that. There's some people that use the auction clearance rates to make business decisions with regards to investing, purchasing, or selling their properties. And, we've looked at that. We've looked at that at my website. You can see here just the dodginess of the auction clearance rates data, how there is an inherent bias to the positive, to a higher number that doesn't reflect reality. So that's why I will, it may seem like I'm being, flunging bipolar, going, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, because I'm trying to convey what's coming out in the media. Once you start seeing it all, once you start seeing, oh, look, they've written this article, they've written this article, oh, look, all these positive pieces are focusing on a much higher threshold. They're well above the median price of property. Oh, look, they're talking about buying above reserve for $3 million houses when the median is 930 grand. So you start to see through what's the narrative that's being created. And I guess that's just part of the journey I'm going through, trying to understand what's going on with property in this country. It's nuts. And I think a few people are joining me on this journey. If we have a look here, we can see this is a chart I like to bring up with unit price growth, how it just hasn't been consistent across New South Wales. So the danger here is you're going to encourage people to jump into property with these grants. There's already an element of FOMO. There's already people, they're drawing out their super, they're getting everything they can, and then they may jump in now when the market is potentially cooling down. When we've got JobKeeper, and they no mention that in this, when we've got the job seeker continuing, when you have mortgage holidays until March, is now the time to get in? Is now the time to take advantage of this? Let's hope that this scheme, I'd like it to be applied to buying existing housing as well. And let's hope that these discounts remain well into next year. Well into the year. Maybe it just should become a permanent fixture of their economy, and they need to adjust the government spending so that when there are some opportunities to perhaps get a deal, maybe then people should look at it. What do you think, everyone? Do you think this will help the construction industry? Or do you think it won't? Do you think people will jump? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content, there's a few ways you can. You can interact with the channel. It's a great way to help us grow. You can support the channel financially by joining us on YouTube or Patreon, using any of our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you all next time.